Hello, you're watching Optimist About This, and my name is Steve Thomas. So what do we know so far? Well, we've learnt today that the EU referendum is going to be on Thursday the 23rd of June 2016. Now, just to bring you up to speed, David Cameron yesterday went out to meet the 27 other countries that make up the EU to talk to them about getting a deal for us, a special deal. It came back with just knowing that we have special status. Yippee, feel really good about that. Okay, so just to give you a refresh then, the UK is the fourth largest contributor to the EU. It's, as I just said, gained a special status in as much as the things that David has negotiated have been agreed. So we're the second richest member of the EU, so let's have a look what he went there and got them to agree to. So there's an emergency break on migrants in work benefits for 4 years. This is when there are exceptional levels of migration. The UK will be able to operate a break for 7 years. So 4, 7, what's all this about? The way I'm looking at it is that for the next 7 years, so if it was agreed today, the next 7 years being between now and 2023, the UK will be able to block migrants' benefits for up to 4 years, and I believe that's the first 4 years that they have come to this country. Okay, so the ultimate thing there is the 7 years. He was looking to get 13 years of this, but they're not agreed to that. Now this is 7 years from when it becomes a European law, and that's a big if, because we don't know, none of us know, if this isn't going to be all turned on its head after we voted for it. Child benefits for the children of EU migrants living overseas will now be paid at a rate based on the cost of living in their country. And this is applicable immediately, so this is something that's coming right now. And this is for all new arrivals, and from 2020 for the 34,000 existing claimants. Now I've done a little bit of maths on that, so let's just assume that these 34,000 claimants have got one child each, and they're claiming the maximum of £20.70 a week. Out of our taxpayers' money, the amount of money going to children living abroad per year is £36,597,600 per annum. So over that remaining period, we will be paying out £146,390,400 in total. That's a heck of a lot of money, given that at the very same time the NHS health bosses will be forced to make total cuts of up to 450 million over the next 2 years. This is a bit of a no-brainer to me. Why are we spending all our money looking after other countries when we desperately need the money ourselves here? Just remember that when Nana, Grandad, Mom, Dad can't get their operations on the NHS because there's no money, because it's not funded enough. Just bear that in mind. Now, there's other things that is agreed on is the amending of the EU treaties to state explicitly, so absolutely categorically under no circumstances, that references to the ever closer union do not apply to the UK. What he's saying is this meaning is Britain can never be forced into a political integration. All these never words and ever and just don't believe a word of it. The ability of the UK to enact an emergency safeguard, I'm not even sure what that means, to enact an emergency safeguard. It's something that's going to protect the City of London to stop the UK firms from being forced to relocate into Europe and ensure that British businesses do not face discrimination for being outside the Eurozone. How on earth can that even be possible? The thing about all this is that not only is this just been agreed by the 28 world leaders that we have got this special status and these things are going to be done, but this can all be overturned at any time by the Euro MPs. They may decide that they don't like the wording, they may decide they don't like any of it. None of this could actually become law. So again, something to think about there. David's been on TV today telling us about why he thinks, and the Cabinet think, that we should remain part of the EU, and also why we deserve this special status. He reckons that it creates jobs within the EU and gives us financial security. That's just saying we're here now, this is what we do, and we feel, a few of us feel okay about that. Obviously I don't, I'm one of these Eurosceptics. I think we have a brighter future outside the EU, looking after our interests and being represented as a country as opposed to as this huge sort of European state that seems to be, to me, drawing lots of financial money, lots of promises that they can't fulfil. David's saying that within the EU we've got cooperation between states. I'm not sure we have, because he's been there and come back with this sort of thing, this special status. I'm not sure that our special status has actually influenced any of the decision making. Bearing in mind, like I said earlier, right at the beginning, we're the fourth largest contributor and the second richest member of the EU. Shouldn't we just be saying, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to do it? We shouldn't have to rely on the say-so of all these other countries that are not in as good a situation as ourselves. Why should we be popping up countries that are not relevant to the UK people? Now he's come out with this buzzword, safer, stronger and better off, and we're going to analyse that in later episodes of The Optimist about this. But some of the things I'd like to just just draw attention on is special status needs again. We're never going to join the euro. We're never going to have a euro bailout again. I gave the example last time for Greece when that collapsed, and every country had to put in billions of pounds to keep them afloat. We're never going to be part of a euro army and never going to be part of a super state. This is what David reckons. I'm not buying into it. The only thing that I am concerned about is that David sells a good story, David Cameron, our Prime Minister, and we really need, for the part of the Leave campaign, we need a charismatic leader that is able to project their views just as well as David is, and project our views. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you believe that you're going to stay in or leave or go or whatever. The biggest thing that we can ask from you, the biggest thing I would like you to do, is just to vote. Have your vote. Make sure it's what you want to happen, whether we stay or whether we go. What I fear is post the EU referendum is people going, well, I never voted for that. Make sure your voice is heard. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I think it's that anybody that is less than 58 years old has not ever had their chance or opportunity to vote on any EU matters. This really is a once in a lifetime opportunity. My name's Steve Thomas and you've been listening to Optimist About This.